Revenge is here. Revenge, where are you calling from?
From the bottom of Group B.
I'm calling from the trenches of Group B in Lock-in. Yeah, it's really nice. It's cozy down here, honestly. Like I mean, I think I'm getting used to it. It's feeling good. I have a serious one.
Okay.
How has it
How to
been?
destroy the Nexus? You kind of need to learn that actually.
No.
Shit.
All right, no. You know, what? Honestly, it's fine. We haven't versed TL yet. He can talk all the shit he wants, but it'll just make it feel better when we shit on them. Like that's all. Either way, like I honestly, yeah. The funniest thing, I don't even care. All our losses do not matter. But beating TL will be the juiciest thing. Like, that's the only thing that matters right now.
Next time you play against us, you can already play without pressure, right? Because like first week you're already out of lock-in.
Oh, I mean, dude, it's true. There's no pressure.
Just like just do your best, you know.
There's no pressure now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Andre, I'm a bit disappointed, man. I thought going to TL, your analysis and coaching would improve, but I mean.
Yes, it would improve too, but.
Oh, okay. How
can you do this? How can you keep talking shit when you're literally losing to CLG and Dignitas? XU.
Wait, what?
Now, whoa! I'm not sure CLG and Dignitas deserved that kind of. They got caught in the crossfire there between Revenge and Gilhoto. We're gearing up for the Revenge match, and thank you again to Travis Gafford and Mark Z for the hot content coming out of Hotline League. This is going to be an interesting matchup because actually, funnily enough, as Gilhoto says, the pressure should be off for this Immortals squad. Yes, unfortunately, they find themselves locked into 5th and therefore not making it to the next stage of lock-in. But that just still means they've got one more game to throw it all out onto the Rift spawn.
But this Immortals roster would still like to stick it to Gilhoto, who went across from Immortals to Team Liquid. And whilst there is a healthy amount of respect, I assure you that these matches do get slightly personal when you play against people that you have worked with in the past.
I also think that, I mean, you've talked about this with, like, we talk about this all the time with scrims versus stage and how teams tend to be a lot more aggressive in scrims just because there's so much pressure off. I mean, there is no pressure, right? Like, Gilhoto's kind of right. Like, you know, hopefully IMT can come out and look a lot more proactive because I think proactivity was definitely something that they were lacking in their losses.
One thing I will say, however, is everyone always tells me it cannot get worse, but I assure you, it can always get worse. You know, when people say it's 0-3, no pressure, it can't get any worse.
Right.
If you lose a game in 15 minutes, it gets worse from here.
It's the way that math works.
I mean, and ultimately, it's just, I think, for Immortals, them just being able to go through the lock-in and just take a better look at themselves, right? And just taking a look at the roster here. Of course, it's going to be Jan and Core JJ coming in.
Right. Yeah, let's talk about that spawn because this is actually the lineup that took the one loss that TL has so far here in the lock-in tournament.
Yeah, but this is where context is really important because Ayla and Hans played against arguably the weaker opponents, and Jan and Core JJ played against EG, who are currently sitting at the top of the group. I'm sure Jan would want to prove himself. This is a player that's coming out of Academy, obviously, from TLA. Before that was on actually the 100 Next lineup that had like Kenvi, Tenacity, Copy, a lot of those players there. And I think he's incredibly talented.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the Aphelios game did not do him justice. I think even in moments in that game, he nearly turned the game on its head, and he is a big X-Factor player.
That's the big one right there, because a lot of people, brains are a little fickle. They forget about the actual context of the game, and especially like the fight around Raptors where he was able to make a huge play for this team, like he's a big playmaker. And when you think that, you know, nerves are going to come in, perhaps it did, perhaps he's going to say that, but it didn't look like that. So I'm excited to see him actually get the perform versus IMT today.
Well, there it is. That's all we need as the precursor to this matchup. We'll see if Revenge can get it done and put a win on the board for Immortals, or if TL will take it and push themselves to 3-1. Back over to Pastry and Jack one more time.
Thank you very much. And you know, for a match that is not going to influence the standings at all, or who's playing, I guess who TL are playing because they locked in second, I feel like the stakes are somehow higher for this game.
Yeah, I do like the trash talk that goes back and forth.
It's a good time.
I love what Spawn brought up on the desk about how it can always get worse. And also, I like the point about how, like, just because there's no official standing stakes doesn't mean that it's different than a scrim, because people watching you makes what you're doing carry more consequence. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, if you're playing League from your desk, and then 3 people walk behind you and watch you, suddenly there's actually more pressure. So
That's true.
anything you do in this game can be clipped and will be on the internet forever.
Yep.
So proceed with caution.
Why is it that you're always in your promos too when the 3 people walk up behind you in the game? It feels bad, man. All right, we'll see what happens here. But yeah, you know, plenty of memes to make, plenty of trash talk to be had, plenty of highlights, or lowlights that can be highlighted and will by the denizens of the internet. But we'll see what happens here in the drafts here. Twisted Fate, Lulu, LeBlanc there on the IMT side. And hey, Victor and Corky from Team Liquid.
Yeah, a lot of mid lane bans. I think that's going to push us to a more interesting mid lane match, which I think is probably in benefit of Bjergsen. As they mentioned, Bjergsen actually did play 4 Academy games in the past 2 days, and that has a couple of knock-on effects. One, it means that the main team actually had less time to scrim because the Academy games happen from 3 to 5 p.m., and that's during the normal scrim block. Secondarily, I also don't necessarily think that the Academy team was 100% drafting to like win every game, and they were letting Bjergsen explore champion pool a little bit. So he got a Sylas game in, a Zillion game in, a Vex game in, a Ryze game in. Those are all champs we actually haven't seen much of in lock-in since it's been Corky, Victor, TF. But with those banned, they'll be pretty natural for this draft phase.
Yeah, pretty excited to see how it lines up. But first pick, Thresh, feels like a nice way to kick things off here for IMT, especially taking that one out of the clutches of Core JJ.
Yep, absolutely. It was a champion that was first picked by Team Liquid in both of Team Liquid's blue side games. So almost a certainty, if it wasn't picked there by Immortals, you'd be dealing with Core JJ's Thresh.
And we'll see what TL want to pick up here. Caitlyn available, Caitlyn selected.
Oh, that thing's up.
Yeah.
100% win rate, Caitlyn. The question here will be, do they throw Core JJ onto the Lux and do the Caitlyn Lux lane?
I'm down.
Or does he play a range support? I know Core is actually really, really good at range supports. He's generally a really, really good player. You traditionally haven't seen him on them as much because finding other sources of engage was difficult in some iterations of Team Liquid. So I think with Whippo, especially having such an aggressive mindset, it's something I want to see Team Liquid explore more of this split.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they do want to go for that, because they do have the option. I mean, Whippo, yeah, he's played Graves, look really fun and flashy with the Eclipse build. He's played Sion too. You know, definitely got range there. Whippo, in general, I have to say for me personally, has been a very exciting player to watch. Win, lose, or Whippo, it's like always fun in the top lane 1v1 especially. But Zinzao selected there for Team Liquid, and Akali has gotten through alongside Jinx there. So Total and Destiny set up well. But this Akali, maybe for Revenge as well, we could be seeing the dreaded Chemtech Akali.
I think we will see the Chemtech Akali. It was seen pretty frequently in LEC. It's really gained a lot of speed. Speed. It's gained a lot of prevalence in the meta in the past week since the build was pretty much widely discovered. And we do see the Caitlyn Lux lane.
Very excited here. He calls Lux in action there alongside Yeon. I'll see what happens here in the other bands. And we could probably take some time to talk about Akali a little bit, because obviously, you know, AP Assassin don't really associate a tank mythic with a champion like Akali. But we'll get into that a little bit as the game goes on. Diana also banned. I think I may have missed with none in the first round, because I was so excited that Corky and Victor were moved out of the game. But J4 are going to be taken out of the hands of Xerxes, who I don't want to like pigeonhole him to say he's like a narrow player, but he does have the champions he likes. And he can definitely play more than that, but I think he is a player that is often worth targeting because he is so much of Immortals' early game plans.
Yeah, I can... And it's also in one of those situations, like, even if it wasn't Xerxes, Xin Zhao was picked, and then they decided not to match jungle because they were trying to get likely revenge on a champion that they hope he can 1v9 with. I will say if Akali does get ahead, whether he's building Turbo Chem Tank or not, he's going to have immense threat on 2 squishy targets. So understandable, but it just puts Xerxes on the back foot from the start.
Yep, and probably going to lose another one here as well. You have to think Renekton ban for IMT. Team Liquid running the clock down for Viego. That is definitely a champion Xerxes has had in his hands already so far in lock-in. We'll see how it lines up, because again, we do have a number of I feel like we've had a lot of drafts that have been mismatched. I can't think of one today, at least, where the teams have selected the same positions. So definitely is some back and forth. But I think again, with the power picks floating around so much, you have to kind of take concessions sometimes and ban away Gangplank.
Yeah, I feel like this will be Whippo's pick, and then they'll save Bjergsen's pick for number 5, so they can get hopefully counterpicks in both solo lanes. It is possible the Power of Evil plays Akali mid.
Yep.
I just think fairly unlikely, but we shall see.
Not that one.
I mean, who knows? Lux mid.
We haven't gone all the way back
Solo.
to. Oh, hello.
Nice. Nice. Bjergsen even got a rep in during Academy on the Zillion.
I am excited for promising Academy prospect Bjergsen, 6-time LCS champion, to show us what he's made of here in the mid lane.
The CC chains could be pretty obnoxious.
Yes.
If you get a Lux binding into a Caitlyn trap, into a Zillion bomb, or any other iteration of those three I just said. It's very possible to mix and match however you see fit.
Yeah, we saw that in the first game of the day, as Orianna is going to be a selection here alongside Hecarim there for IMT. Very quick lock-in of the mid lane there, but obviously Power of Evil certainly is aware of the Bjergsen Zillion. It is one of his most successful champions in his career. I was about to say LCS career, but that really is just Bjergsen's career at this point.
Yeah.
We'll see what TL have cooked up here for Bwipo in the top lane.
He played that one split on Copenhagen Wolves, got the Cinder pentakill, went to Disneyland with Reggie, and then landed on TSM.
Goodness, what is going on?
Rengar!
That is what's going on.
That is what's going on. I don't know how that matchup
I
goes.
told you Bwipo was fun to watch.
I'm guessing Bwipo does know how that matchup goes. This has been actually like a Bwipo special for a while. He's played a lot of Rengar top in competitive matches from his time on Fnatic, so this is... I'm going to go out on a limb here
Okay, I'm ready.
and say that because TL is locked second and IMT is locked fifth,
Yep.
there's a little bit more liberty to play the champions that are fun.
Yes. And to give your opponents champions that are fun. Give over Akali. See if you can't find something fun there in the 1v1.
Yeah, Immortals definitely has what I would say are the traditionally stronger picks,
I agree.
but you never know. It's about the pilot, not the car.
Certainly true. As we'll see what happens here. Very excited to learn more about the Tank Akali versus something. Rengar. We'll find out what build Bwipo wants to go for at some point throughout the game. Bwipo definitely been on the bleeding edge of a lot of builds, I feel like. So if there's something interesting in the technology tank, we're going to learn it here in this game, as IMT have sent everyone top lane and TL have sent everyone bot lane, which unfortunately for us means no one's going to do anything.
Okay, I'm like 90% sure we're going to see Akali go Turbo Chem Tank. So if you've just seen it built by a lot of Akalis, you're not really dove into why, since it looks like nothing's going to happen in the early game.
You are correct.
I'll take maybe a minute to explain this.
I'm here for you.
So
You're on the clock.
the way the passive works for Turbo Chem Tank is it stacks up. When it's fully charged, your next basic attack will deal additional magic damage. It increases based on your maximum health and your movement speed. The reason it's so good on Akali is it stacks based on movement. So Akali flies around all over the place. When her passive is up, she's moving backwards. When she's Eing, she's kicking back and flying forward. When she's R'ing, she's dashing like crazy. So it's so much easier to land many empowered autos during a long trade. So even though it is traditionally a tank item, Akali can get the durability while maximizing the damage creation. So I don't think this would catch on as much if it wasn't for that absurd damage interaction.
And you know what? Empowered autos, already part of Akali's trading patterns with her passive as well. So it makes sense there. By the way, Jet, you came in about under 10 seconds to spare, so very well done with your minute of time. As we will see things kick off here in the bottom side of the map. It is Turtle and Destiny up against Core and Yeon. Core and Yeon, as we heard from this, did take the loss, but against a tough opponent, and it was quite a long game, if memory serves. Yeon looked pretty good on Aphelios. Very curious to see how he does here, alongside Core with a typically very domineering 2v2 lane.
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing how aggressive Yeon and Core JJ can be. Expect them to try and pressure that turret early, but then basically the problem that TL is going to potentially have later on in this game is that they do have like a very squishy backline, and Immortals is going to be doing everything they can to dive it with Hecarim, Akali, Orianna.
Yeah, definitely curious to see how all the diving works out, but Bwipo feeling pretty good right now. Oh my goodness, actually. I just looked at the CS. 15-1 right now as Bwipo has been really bullying at level 1 there. Revenge also not clutch, does have Ignite instead.
I mean, stand in the bush.
Yep.
If Akali
Click
comes
on
here, Whippo's confident he's going to win that trade, so he gets to stack a full wave that Revenge is going to try and pick up as much as he can at the turret, but so far, very good for that top lane.
Yeah, Whippo actually already going back as well, so taking all that advantage, pushing the lane in. Now Revenge gets some time to farm, but you know, dominating push on the top side, dominating push on the bottom side for Team Liquid. Gonna free up some space here for Santorin if he wants to make the rounds, but he's just happily farming right now on the Zen. So Destiny, ooh, getting aggressed on Yeon and Core lining up so well there with the CC chains.
Yeah, so already one plate, 3 minutes, 30 seconds in. And no sign of relief, really. The Hecarim could technically try and get a Ghost gank in, but you can see Bot Crab already secured by Santorin. Yeon using that little window he has to get a ward in the Tri-Brush. Again, with Thresh and Flash and Hecarim and Lantern, like, ganks are still very possible, but they're really going to have to brute force it if they want to get something done.
Also love to see Bjergsen's accuracy on display with the bombs. Getting a nice little bit of trading there onto Power of Evil. As Revenge rejoins his top side, Whippo's going to get aggressive. Revenge actually at a very brief level advantage, just equalizes CS as well from the early levels. So we'll see how things develop. Lethal Tempo Rengar, and I think I understand what's been happening.
Jump hit. Oh, better run away.
Classic Knife Cat. By the way, Rengar ulti already terrifying when he runs at you. Zillion empowered Rengar speed is quite a sight to behold. Zillion kind of turns every champion into a turbo champion.
Yeah, that, I hope we get to see some ridiculous combos of a really fast Rengar flying into one-shot someone.
Put a bomb in his head too, help him out with the DPS. If you time it really well, you can sometimes get a stun. As Wild Turtle's getting aggressed on here in the bottom side of the map. But he's going to get lanterned out to safety there by Destiny. But things are not feeling all that hot right now in the 2v2, as I think he expected. CS is even for now, as Ewan and Core up about a wave, but not sure that's going to last if they keep getting pushed back like this.
Gotta try and get this gank off to give them any breathing room whatsoever. But that ward sees them. Oh, it hit Core!
So nice there onto Core for Destiny. Core is going to be forced to flash, though.
Oh, interesting. So Xerxes didn't use Ghost right there, even with Hook confirmed. So he didn't feel confident he'd be able to get behind Core for the flash. And now the wave gets hit at the turret. Yeon is consistently hitting it, and the control ward is bye-bye. Yeah,
and this is the thing with Caitlyn Lens that I feel like I often forget, so it's good to remind myself at least. It's not just the CS that Caitlyn can build, because I think the people are pretty good now at keeping it at least, you know, respectable, but it's the constant pushing and the plate gold you get that really kind of gets Caitlyn going in the early game. Yeah,
and also just the inherent pressure it puts on the other team's jungler. Like, look at what Whippo has been doing in this top lane. He's had that wave frozen. He's had it frozen for like a minute and a half, right? It's breaking now, and it's going to crash into Revenge, but it's on a level 6 timing. A lot of times, Revenge would be like, dude, please, come help me crash this wave. But bottom lane really wants the help from Hecarim as well, so it was just a really nice combination of pushing.
All right, Revenge is oh my goodness, Whippo! How did you get that kill? Even against Ignite, and now Whippo's gonna try an alcove game Xerxes out of there. This is so nice!
No, no way.
Back in? Gotta be dead. Gotta be dead. Ward from Xerxes, nice. One more order, you can do it. Xerxes finds it. Eventually gets the trade.
Oh, he almost charged enough to escape that one, but it's still gonna be kind of mission accomplished for Whippo right there. Getting the solo kill, building a 20 CS lead. Yes, a kill does go over to Hecarim, who is one of the champions who, if gets fed, could lead to an Immortals victory, but you're going to take that any day of the week if you're TL.
I can't see them, but I can hear the pings, and I just really hope that's Whippo pinging Revenge for himself, you know? We'll see what happens, though. TP is burnt by both top laners. I would love to see that exchange again. I have no idea how Whippo turned that around, but obviously has his way around the Rengar. And chat, I spy something I will call curious in the top lane, because we have not only
Bruiser Rengar?
One little Balmy Cinder, we have two.
I'm gonna make a confession.
Okay, I'm ready.
I am not up to speed on the current Rengar meta, so give me a second to try to figure this out.
You know what? Maybe it's just chem tanks for everyone. We'll have to find out. Whippo though still having a blast. Revenge is dancing around, trying to make it happen. No Ignite though, no ult. He's going to make it real tough to do anything about this. Santorin also, the great equalizer, who did, by the way, get the dragon very freely, thanks to all the pressure in top and bottom lane that Team Liquid have. And now he's on the way to the Rift Herald. Although IMT do have the speed trying for that vision right now.
And also it hasn't spawned yet, so he's
right.
a little early. Yeah. But still covering River. You can see leading leading the game in gold. I'll also let you in on a little secret as well. If I don't know the way a matchup plays out, I will generally just go to Lolalytics, and then I'll look at the highest win rate moves and items, and I'll usually have like a decent idea of how it works.
That's very smart.
So I'm trying to do that right now.
Oh, this is very spicy. I don't think Revenge has ulti. Oh, he does. He used it already. Has one card left. Yeah, has R1, but not R2. Uses it on the wave. Whippo managed to fend off that all in.
This is a little dicey because they're trying to do Rift Herald without bot lane move. So a fight could work out for Immortals. The Zillion ult is so huge in fights
Nice
like
hook. I think Little's a bit generous for the top side play, by the way. But bottom lane, it's all action. Core JJ goes down, but Yeon gets the counter kill. And now it's Destiny versus the Caitlyn. That's not a good time as the Rift Herald goes over to Team Liquid.
Just fight.
Here we go. Shockwave there from PoE. Bjergsen ults himself. Time to resurrect. But it's still 3v3 and Whippo's chasing PoE. Now back on the Xerxes. Whippo! It's Rengar Paradise around all the brushes. And now he's going to keep on going. The bomb come out. Whippo goes out again. Xerxes gets the kill. Another bomb there as Whippo finally gets fouled.
I did not think the last jump was going to work, but the rest of the fight worked beautifully for TL, not only in the kill trade and bottom lane where they get the kill onto the Caitlyn and the gold for Immortals ends up going to Thresh. They also get the 2-for-1 and the Rift Herald, so just huge wins across the map for TL.
1,500 gold ahead as a result. And TL feeling good there as Whippo showing off there in that little fight. And I can confirm he has finished one of the first mythics of the game alongside Yeon as they both got gold. Turbo Chemtank now ready for the Rengar as well.
Yeah, so it's definitely not the most purchased by Rengar. It's built in about 4% of his games, but it does have competitive win rate, so I think it's totally a fine build for Rengar to go. We're going to watch this fight one more time, and once Core gets caught like this, he is going to die, so it's all about trading as much damage back onto the Jinx as possible. Yeon actually flashed forward to get the E headshot, which was really good. That gets the kill. Watching this fight, even if they burned all the damage on Bjergsen, the fact that they have the Zillion ult does give a really big advantage in these mid-game fights, and there's enough brush in the river that Whippo can kind of fly all over the place. This was a little dicey, but getting that last bomb pickup, he thought he'd have the burst, but he did not.
He was ready for it there. But you know what? We have to respect the Whippo again. High-octane player. 2-2 and 1-0 on the Rengar, but still keeping that CS lead, still keeping the pressure. Has his mythic. People are excited about Zillion, but I think people are more excited about the Whippo Rengar. Certainly that's what I'm excited about, as Rift Herald is coming down. That's quite a spam, I like that a lot. Centauri maybe looking to drop the Herald here, because that tower, again, as we said, the 2v2 push being so consistent means that tower's a Herald away from being felled.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get all that cooldown onto Caitlyn and start moving and opening around the map for the very, very, very fast Rengar that we're going to be seeing later. He'll get 40% move speed when he activates his Chem Tank, and then a lot more move speed from Bjergsen Zillion as well if they decide to do that. Zoom, zoom.
Yep, Bjergsen's all right. Able to save himself there, sets up a stun, but not needed there. Rift Herald does get dropped right on time there as Santorin gives Yeon all the plates and all that first turret gold over to the bottom lane. And already gold lead ticked up about an extra K. 2,500 or so up for Team Liquid as they also get the second Drake of the game.
Yeah, look at that item gap in the bot lane. Gale Force to a Quiver. And Boots. But really, if we're talking about combat stats, just completely untouchable. They need to move that Caitlyn around the map while there's still plates and maybe get an even bigger advantage.
Certainly see that as looks like top lane is going to be the name of the game. Whippo has definitely got the wave curated there if they want to come up and push, although there is some attention, a lot of attention in fact being paid. Whippo is out of there, he's already hit the recall button, should be okay here indeed. No one is leaping forward there and Whippo is going to be able to recall safely because, oh goodness, he's going for it. Back onto Revenge we go, but he's in a 1v4, does have flash. Good play there from Destiny, that Glacial Augment kicks in and that should be a kill, indeed it will be.
Almost out of that one. Getting the kill onto Wild Turtle is actually very big since he's been denied so heavily being in that, trapped in that lane against Caitlyn Lux. So Whippo's definitely played fast and loose so far in Lock-in Tournament, whether he's on Sion, Graves, or Rengar. That one, he gets a little burned.
Yeah, and unfortunately, swap kind of read there by IMT. Up there nice and early there before Yeon and Core can get up. So even though Caitlyn is maybe going to get some plate gold here with this wave pushing in, not going to be the lead they would have wanted to try and generate there alongside the Rengar there with Whippo. But hey, you know what? One plate ain't bad, maybe two as well here. Got a minute to keep mining.
Wow. So many shots on the turret. I mean, as long as Santorin kind of shadows this lane while they're pushing, I think TL's pretty confident in these 3v3s, so they're really just gonna maximize this push as long as they can. The Zilean Orianna lane is pretty washed right now, and I actually really want to see how the Rengar Akali lane plays out now that they both have their mid. Here they go, though.
That's the dodge to Trump. Xerxes going up. Yeon, good flash. Nets himself out of there as well. The hook lands onto the front line, but Santora's going in. Ace in the hole, they're on to Xerxes. Santora gets the knock-up. They're trying to confirm a kill, but they can't get anything.
Oh, wow. I thought that was a really good window for Xerxes to go in there, because I really think Jan should have been playing to the other side of the lane, which is closer to Santorin and Core JJ, but he still gets away with it. They kind of chunked him out in the fight, and they get another plate.
Pee-wee at it again, though, but that roam's maybe going to cost him a plate in mid, although 5 seconds to go, probably not able to get one more done. But hey, they went up here for a couple plates. I think they got 2 or 3 there for the duo lane of Team Liquid. So job done certainly there for Caitlyn.
Yeah, it was 3, so I think that's 8 plates for the Caitlyn lanes, all things considered. It's going to make him significantly ahead in gold.
Revenge does not press E again, so Battle of the Chem Tanks won't happen quite yet, but it's definitely on here in the 1v1.
Yeah.
Some E's exchanged. Whipper, though, just holding back.
Yeah, I don't know if Revenge would have expected the Rengar.
Yeah, I wonder how many times he played this matchup.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, top laners grind a lot of 1v1 matchups.
Yep.
But these fringe picks,
You only have so much time.
Yeah, they're so hard to practice. They're also so hard to practice against. So having little pocket picks like this, also hard to practice, right? Unless a champion is very meta in scrims, which maybe Akali was this last week, might have allowed Bwipo to get a few reps in against it.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes in a lot of cases it's like either prior experience, right?
Yeah.
Which Bwipo does have on this champion, or just like enough confidence and intuition to be like, I think I can play this. I understand how this should work, so I'm going to give it a go. And Bwipo is not afraid to give it a go.
Definitely not. Think of how much chem tank he's stacking by flying into the bushes, because it's about the distance he covers with move speed to stack it up to 100 stacks.
It's coming. I can't wait for the Zilean Rengar. Someone's going to get absolutely shattered as TP's coming in top now for IMT. Revenge going to join the squad. Does have Sork Shoes, does have Chemtech ready to go, trying to fight for the Herald. But Bwipo's up, he's popped the ulti. Jerks and click A on him. Who's going to get the Rift out, by the way? Now Shockwave in the front line's not bad there. And that looks decent there for IMT, but the Resurrection is so good as Xerxes is barely going to live. Santorin looking for the kill, but can't quite find it, but he does get Revenge in the end. And now the snare on the Power of Evil is going to be a kill for Yeon, and they get the Herald as well. What a fight there from Team Liquid.
Wow, how obnoxious that must feel for Immortals. I don't want to take away from how well executed that had to be from Team Liquid, spacing the Zilean ultimate the first time on Xin, and Santorin just not ulting out of like reflex and instinct because he'd been engaged on, but the amount of cooldowns Immortals spent onto Santorin to get nothing has just got to be a gut punch. Like, he must feel very bad after that fight.
I mean, this is one of the things that makes Zilean so annoying. Bjergsen's certainly no stranger to the champion as you watch this one again. As you said, very tight timing.
So they cut off one entrance point with Caitlyn Trap, so it has to be this 5v5 straight up. And honestly, like, the Akali into Orianna into Hecarimalt seems lethal, but yes, the engage is completely absorbed by the Zilean ult, and then they hook him again, but they still can't get him because he still has Xin ult afterwards. And by the way, that took like the entire fight, so TL can actually hit the opponent back and get a couple of kills.
Yeah, really nice traps and snares there set up by Yeon and Core. Definitely to lock up those 2 kills, make sure they could happen, and they get the 3rd dragon as well, charging in towards the Cloud Soul, which of course would be the soul we get in the Chemtank Rengar Zilean game.
Speed, speed, zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom. Power of Evil. There are 3 champions in mid lane. Destiny, though, back up there alongside Xerxes. This tower in mid looking pretty low. Revenge, little too far forward. Does get himself out of there with the Lantern, though, but that tower's dead on my screen. Oh, even Herald, they're making sure it's absolutely dead.
Ooh, they're going to go for a deep push here. So Wild Turtle sees that objective bounty up top, so I think TL is just, they might even try and get the inhibitor turret off this.
They can, because Herald's got enough for another charge in. They're going to get the wave through. Yeah, at least take a lot of damage here. Objective bounty claim, but it may be too late. That sweet sound. One of misery, perhaps. That inhibitor tower is broken in mid.
Woo. What a push. Triple turret in change for the objective bounty. That's definitely a... Oh, they got it, though.
They did get it.
They got it.
Did get it. Total did get the extra money.
I don't think Turtle being there would have been a great defense. It probably would have stopped the third turret from going down, but maybe the first two still could have gone to TL, who is very, very strong. Immortals has just got to start running around and hoping to get some picks.
I know you said you find joy in the objective bounty sound, and I do agree with that. The Zillion speed up sound is one of my favorite in the game. Just a little clock zooming forward. Bjergsen, again, playing with respect, like knowing Xerxes could be down there, not wanting to really get into an altercation with Revenge, just playing nice and back. And with that tower still there, yes, there's an objective bounty to be claimed by IMT, but Bjergsen can just bomb the wave and go into a different screen.
Yeah, and if Revenge can't threaten the Zillion in the side lane either, which, especially with the current gold values, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to, the game just gets increasingly rough for Immortals. Their 5v5 is still pretty good because of their Hecarim Orianna trigger pull, but again, if they can't get the Orialt onto multiple squishies on TL, they're going to have a rough time.
All right, well, 4,000, actually almost 5,000 gold. It was 4,000 30 seconds ago. But Team Liquid have taken 5 towers now. Still got the soul building up. They're about 2.5 minutes away from having that one, something they can take off the map here. And Baron will spawn in 30 seconds as well. So definitely an embarrassment of riches right now for Team Liquid. As, oh my goodness, Santorin able to just invade and gift Yi on the enemy red buff. That is so much control.
Yeah, RFC right now as well. So just, you get within about 800 units of that Caitlyn, you're going to lose about 400 or 500 health.
This tower should be forfeit here. And Revenge almost copped it, but Bjergsen wasn't quite able to land the stun. Does back away in respect. Destiny gets tagged, but Santorin already got the job done. No need to dive in any further.
Yeah, such nice game acceleration from TL so far as well. Okay.
Speaking of game acceleration.
He saw the angle. He had to get him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. Did get the ulti out of Xerxes. Core definitely bloodthirsty right now on the Lux.
I think Core's a little bored. I don't think that was on the the chess point value for pieces. Yeah. Like Lux Flash versus Hecarim Ultimate. The Lux Flash is a lot more important when you're 2 minutes away from the next objective and the Hecarim Ult will be back up in time.
But if it hit it though.
I mean, then it's a highlight play. So.
Then it's a genius.
Yeah.
All right, well, a couple more mythics or items, I should say, done. As Titanic Hydra actually second there for Whippo, which is very exciting. Cosmic Drive there for Bjergsen because, as we've noted, speed is the name of this game.
If we get Whippo for post-game interview, I'm going to let him do the analysis on the Rengar build. Instead of trying to do it myself right now, I need to do a little bit of research after this one.
I'm sure let us know on Twitter.
Yeah.
Very forthcoming person with the info. Santorin knock up there onto Revenge. Revenge! Just stunning to Oblivion. Decent shockwave there. But now the rest of the team's going through a Whippo. Trying to rampage with the chem tank there. Lux Laser does get Turtle low. They get a kill in trade. But now Turtle definitely under fire there as Whippo did fall. But Turtle's going to live. Santorin now. Bit of a dicey spot, but he's going to be all right.
I think he leaped out of Zillion ult range on his death there. But both the top laners will have teleport with this Cloud Drake spawning, so I'm expecting the setup for this one to continue. And the Ori ultimate is down, which definitely lowers the potency of the Immortals' potential contest. Very hard for them to get in here.
Yep. No vision. Cooldowns running low. Revenge is already back. He's going to walk over to the pit, but Team Liquid, I mean, they don't even have to start it right away. I think they will because they know how quickly they can do it. They know IMT probably not going to challenge. And in fact, IMT are just tops out of the map. They're giving away this soul.
Yeah, and now it's just about TL safely retaking this part of their jungle because that's the only thing Immortals can hope for is just control over the Baron area. But unless they immediately convert it,
all right, Whippo
that wasn't safe.
That was not safe at all. Whippo, wrong way home on that one as Xerxes grabs the kill thanks to the Turtle ulti that came through there.
That was a mistake by Whippo. That's exactly what Immortals was hoping would happen. But now, can they convert it into something more, right? Like after getting a pick, I'd actually be of the opinion that against a Cloud Drake, when you get a free kill onto a Rengar, you just flip the Baron, because I think that would be their best chance, but maybe they think they have a little bit of a scaling advantage and they can get a bigger pick later.
Maybe, but they do have Muramana now finished on Hecarim. So, you know, got some damage. Shadow Flame done for PoE as well. Gonna help out for those combos that they'll need to do together there with the Hecarim Ori Wombo. As Team Liquid still hold a very clean 5k gold lead here. Soul's gonna, of course, be there for the rest of the game for them, which is always nice. And now they're gonna move their attention over to the Baron side of the Rift.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I don't think the game is doomed for Immortals.
No, not at all.
They have so much engage and burst. And if they can somehow catch Bjergsen where he can't reactively ult and get the like a CC chain down on him, like it's a no Merc Treads Zillion. So if they get a good hook or a good fear from the Hecarim, it is possible that they'd be able to take him down.
Well, Xerxes getting a very brief bit of vision, but Core looks for the snare and then is able to clear that vision out nice and quickly. Whippo is busy farming the enemy jungle, and Team Liquid just happy to create more space for themselves here. Again, they have Caitlyn. The siege power is so good. Great get to the flash there for Santorini. He is supposed to pop the ulti in response. IMT.
They should go.
Moving in. Whippo does have the
Here.
TP. Great route there out of Core JJ. Just running interference as Caitlyn traps everywhere. Just no one can run through anything.
Could not get through. Here comes Ren.
Whippo's run here, by the way. He still has TP. Revenge, of course, going to be the target. He gets the root. Woo! Not enough, though.
Pretty close. Yeah, he covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
The Cloud Rift helps
Yeah.
speed him up as well.
Just going for it. Oh, and now the Baron. I love this from Team Liquid.
Yep. Here we go. It's going to be difficult for Immortals to try and retake this vision, but they have to do it fast. They do have a blue trinket on Wild Turtle. He needs to use it as soon as he can. There
Could
it is.
use it. Oh, look at you. Now halfway done with the Baron, though, and Xerxes like, wait a second. Core JJ also running interference. Everfrost will whip. Core JJ, they're going to get the root. They just want the kill here, and they are going to try and get it, but Xerxes relatively tanky. It's Santorin now under fire, and someone is in the wrong spot. It's Revenge. Just stopwatched in the middle of the enemy team, and Whippo took him out. I think he hit a trap.
I think he walked into a trap. He must have missed it. You can put the traps in some pretty sneaky spots, and once you hit a trap, it's double bomb into death.
Yes.
So that'll be Baron for TL now that the Jinx Rocket has it stolen.
Well, Turtle's objective bounce streak continues, but the Baron, unfortunately, on the wrong side of the rift for IMT. This Team Liquid looking to put the finishing touches of this game at this point. Very dominant position.
Been pretty smooth from start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with Whippo, you know, running a lot.
Yeah.
It's very fast, this game.
He is running it in a direction.
Yes.
But it could be towards victory. Occasionally it is not. But he's still running.
It's always towards the enemy.
Yeah.
You
He
can
is definitely running.
You can tell.
Look at him go.
Oh goodness, Destiny found a hook. I don't think he wants this. Destiny's just gonna get taken out. Yeon nabs the kill. Bjergsen, he's running forward, Everfrosting people there. And I think they're gonna get at the stun line.
Oh,
That's all
man.
they need is revenge. Eats death number 6.
The important thing for Whippo is the opponent top laner has more deaths than he does. So you can't say that Whippo has died too much because he has died less than the other top laner.
And now Team Liquid, still 2 minutes left with Baron. Gonna try and knock down some structures here. Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah, it's already gone.
It's been him just ready to go.
This could very well be the final push.
Certainly looks like it. Much like Cooking Show, here's one they prepared earlier. Is it going to take 2 inhibs now? Still a minute 40. My goodness, that is so much time left on the Baron. And Team Liquid just going to watch the walls collapse around IMT. It's been a very fun affair. Team Liquid knew it wasn't going to affect the standings, but boy oh boy,
Final
was that
fight.
some pride on the line as Xerxes looking for the final flank. Eon's a target, good flash there, and Xerxes getting ripped up a little. Zillion ult used a touch early there onto Bjergsen, but the flash forced on Destiny may buy enough time that TL have to back away. Shockwave finds Santorin, pops his in ulti, and he's going to be fine.
I like how Bjergsen used his ultimate so early in that fight, knowing kind of the only way they lose is if they somehow like 100-0 the Zillion. It does stop the game from ending though, which leaves the sliver of hope for Immortals. Like as grim as the game is gone, when it does get to Elder, there is a finality in that fight where maybe there's going to be a chance. It's just going to be so incredibly difficult to find an angle for this fight.
And the good news for us is that we still have opportunity to see a Zillion-empowered Whippo running across the rift. Because I think every time he's joined a fight, he's been like in another lane, just popping ulti and like hoofing it.
Yeah, which is fine.
Oh,
Gets
yeah,
there
he's-
fast enough
yeah.
without the Zillion. Oh, he's in early.
Santorin going through, Bjergsen around the other side, Destiny already poked down, Whippo trying to leap in there, Bjergsen actually maybe caught out of position, but the Everfrost there, pops the ulti on himself, runs at the enemy, already got revenge for death number 7. as Whippo tackles maniacally there, watching the top lane. It's KDA. Santorin, man's on a killing spree. He takes out his opposition as the enemy jungler falls down, and they can grab Elder Dragon if they want. I just don't think they need it.
They probably don't.
All right, they'll get it.
Someone should block for the Jinx ult.
Yes.
Because Turtle has stolen a lot of these in his LCS career.
Yep, Eon's there. Destiny's trying to find a hook. Ooh.
And now that no one sees him, he should just shoot it.
Coach J is like, yep, I'm trying to be the battle ward. Does go down, but you know what? They'll take it.
This is a form of blocking.
He did get vision.
Far up. Yeah.
He did get vision of the enemy.
Wild Turtle never shot one in. That'll possibly delay this game a little farther. But yeah, looking at the items that have come through onto Yon, like he is just so incredibly powerful on the Caitlyn. You have the chaos that is created by the Rengar in all these fights. We'll see if TL is able to push down this third inhibitor without Baron, or if they need to wait for the next Baron to close out the game.
Yeah, 2 minutes of Elder, 2 minutes and change until the Baron itself is up. Santorin already getting things prepared there on the left-hand side of the Rift. He's actually just running through the enemy jungle cloud patches looking for Xerxes. Xerxes also threatening their level 60 now on the Zillion, so maximum value off your resurrection there from Zillion. Of course, maximum cooldown. That thing comes up cooldown real quick right now for the Zill.
Yeah, really absurd once he's at this stage of the game. Still very difficult to execute though. Like Zillion just takes so much practice, which I guess it's good that TL is getting this practice in early as well. Because not only does Bjergsen need to know who to ult, the team needs to know when to rely on the ult.
There it comes! Whippo's going in! Oh my goodness, the Elder Dragon buff almost finds 2 off Whippo's engage. Team Liquid,
We've
no
seen
kills.
this fight before.
We have, wait a second. Alrighty, Xerxes is gonna get zoned out. Core JJ is face checking the enemy. Eon is a melee champion. Look at him go, hitting the tower. Here we go, that's a good AD carry as the rest of IMT are just trying to find an angle. Whippo though, will not be stuck. Pops revenge for the final time as the Nexus and the thumbs up will give Team Liquid the victory over Immortals in a moment because they still have some business to attend to. Whippo's heading in the fountain if he can get a chance to. Unfortunately for him, the Nexus is dying a little too quickly and it does go down as Team Liquid a very fun finish to their group stage here in Lock-In.
Yeah, you love to see the Rengar and the Zillion fly in, be fancy. I also am preferential to Core JJ Lux. He doesn't get to play range supports very often, although I know he is very good at being lane dominant. And that concludes the group stage for these two teams.
Yes.
Unfortunate 0-4 for Immortals. The silver lining is in 2 weeks, they'll be 0-0. And they'll get to start this all over again.
That's good.
And for TL, it means they're 3-1, second place in the group. We'll cross-play number 3 from the other group.
Cloud. No?
I don't think it's locked down yet what the third seed is, but we'll find out in the last 2 games of the day.
That's true. That's what the rest of the group stage is for. I said at the top, I guess I'll repeat it again. Whippo's a player to watch. Again, it doesn't matter if it's winning, losing. It's so fun.
Yeah. And that is definitely, like, for the viewers what this game is about. Teams can have other objectives for it in terms of trying to develop synergy. But for us, yeah, let's just have a good time watching Whippo run it in a direction. Yeah, towards victory.
Every cardinal point, Whippo found a way. After a decisive Team Liquid victory, though, we're going to be joining the State Farm analyst desk to break it all down.
Thank you so much, gents. I'm not sure how we follow up that hard-hitting analysis by Matt there. Whippo just chooses to run it in a direction.
Yep.
Here's the headcanon I've got working right now. Hotline League plays out, right? Gilhoto goes right back to the Alienware facility after that, and he goes and finds Whippo. He pulls him aside and he says, "Okay, what kind of weird cheese do you have to bring into the top lane and absolutely hard smash
Just
revenge,
to tilt him,
just so that I can tilt him?"
Yes.
After that back and forth, and he's like, "Don't worry, bro, I got you."
Yeah.
It's Rengar.
It's not even weird cheese,
For him, it's not.
Because we were talking about like Chem Tank and like what other champions would kind of fit.
The abuser.
Yeah, you know what? Rengar fits, and Whippo. The last person to play Rengar in a major region was also Whippo in the LEC.
How many years ago was that? Was that like
it was
3-4 years?
last summer.
Was it last summer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good for him.
and so, you know, like so my point is that he knows the champion really, really well.
And this is the thing about drafting when you have a team of veterans. Every now and again, Bjergsen's just going to say, just give me Zilean. I know, because he did it to me 2 days ago. And then every now and again, Blippo's just going to be like, just give me Rengar.
Right.
And as a coach, it's like, all right,
Okay.
Jesus, take the wheel. Like, we'll see how this one goes.
All right, so Bjergsen is now Jesus.
There it is. Hey, Zilean has a wonderful beard.
That's true. All
True.
right, so it's
So,
all
great comp.
falling in line there.
There it is.
I mean, it is interesting what the confidence of a player, you know, specifically on individual champions, can kind of do for a team in unlocking strategic options. But I want to jump down to the bot lane because we talked about the switch in lineup. That yes, this was the TL lineup that had suffered the one loss earlier in the tournament. But you talked about strength of opponents, Spawn, being very important. So another shot here for Yon and Core JJ, and they showed up. Particularly the young AD carry.
Yeah, and that kind of play is exactly what Yun will bring to a team. You know, Core got caught there. A couple of times it actually happened in the laning phase, but the blind aggression that sometimes can take over an AD carry and the willingness to flash forward, use everything to be able to pick up the trade kill, actually made that an advantageous situation for Team Liquid. It was a very proud moment for me. I like to see the players pop off, and I'm just really happy that Yun was able to have a great game because this is kind of disrespect from Immortals. We've seen Caitlyn nearly be 100% pick ban so far. And not only do they not pick or ban it, they give it over on red side, which is, I think you can just take Caitlyn straight away and bit them.
Well, and I mean, I think we talked about Yon, right, in his previous performances, and this is something we did already see of him. And you were talking about, you know, this team of veterans. Well, he is the one who's not like a veteran of a major region on this team. So I think it speaks well of him that you can say, okay, we're picking this entire comp, strongest bot lane, pushing bot lane right now, a bunch of comfort champions for everyone else, and they executed it really well.
And what I will say about Team Liquid, and this is something I've noticed across like the last couple of years, is they integrate rookies into the lineup very well. You know, you think back to Jenkins' debut, who was able to get Gangplank, which at the time was his most played champion. You think about Ayla's debut, he's playing Thresh, that's his most played champion. This is a roster that obviously prioritizes getting rookies comfort and then allowing them to have good games and playing around them.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw that one replay. There was also the time where Caitlyn full comboed the Thresh under turret. Like, bot lane was a slaughter. And it wasn't just bot lane. It was mid, it was top, every lane. And we ran the stats, so everyone had already seen it, had showcased like how much of an early lead Team Liquid had just based off the lanes itself. And there were times where you were looking at that top lane, and yeah, Rengar was straight up pounding the Akali, had a wave frozen on him. The jungle was straight up in the opposite side of the map. Like, it was painful.
We had a brief conversation during the game about how to deal with a top Rengar, and the solution was level 1, you have to 5-man top side just to get control of the front brush, because if you concede that brush to the Rengar at level 1, there's almost no winning matchup there against.
Yeah, and I don't even know if like doing that on Akali, because I was
Would
thinking
actually
through
matter,
it. Like
yeah.
Akali's level 1 is so weak. I just think that this is a situation where Bwipo is always going to have lane control. And just to Raz's point, when you're playing Hecarim, there is nothing more demoralizing than being like getting dragged around Summoner's Rift. This is a champion that requires gold and items and experience to be able to function in the game. And at one point, you know, bottom's getting pushed in. Can you gank? Top's getting frozen on. Can you come push out this wave? Zilean's just scaling for free, and Xerxes is just sitting there sweating in his jungle because he's like, soon they're coming for me. You know, it started with the other people, but soon they're coming for me too.
Right. Yeah, no, it all starts to collapse in that way, right? And so you did. It definitely felt like Immortals was a bit at a loss. Again, for me, one of the big notes is how incredible it is that, yeah, you're now going to have to consider the fact that Bwipo always has this kind of aggressive top lane laning option to kind of abuse you if you draft improperly. Bjergsen still has pocket picks like the Zilean, which find their way into pro play, at least by his hand, seemingly every time he's in the league.
And it's good to see them get back into it, right? Because for both Bwipo and for Bjergsen, they had to get back into their former roles.
True.
And so, like, for both of them, we're like, I'm just going to start with this champion. Or even looking at Bwipo, and he was like, oh, I'm playing tanks just because I need to learn, you know, matchups. This was in the off season, right? So, like, now, the gauntlet's down. You just have to deal with these champion pools.
Yeah, exactly. Go with what you know. And I tell you this much, we know a little bit about the quarterfinal bracket and how it is ultimately breaking down with a few of our teams done with their group stage play. I want to pull that bracket up onto the screen and kind of get a lay of the land. 100 Thieves, having won earlier today against Cloud9, have secured themselves that matchup against Dignitas. You can see Team Liquid there awaiting their opponent. Evil Geniuses doing the same, but we also know that Cloud9 will be going up against CLG on the bottom side of the bracket. So 2 matchups so far figured out that we have to talk about. Raz, which one are you most excited about, or how you feel ultimately about the way that this bracket's breaking down?
So of course, because of how it's built, you're gonna have the first seeded team have like a pretty strong matchup there. But already I'm looking at the very first day of this tournament, we said who was gonna be the finalist, right? The predictions. It's impossible for Team Liquid and 100 Thieves to be the finalists.
That's true.
Yeah,
So Jat
this is true.
is already wrong.
Boom.
Welcome back to the LCS, Jat. You're wrong about your finals prediction. He could still be right about who wins the whole tournament, but
Probably won't be.
but probably won't be. You make a good point though, because that means that the semifinal matchup, assuming those two teams win, it would be a 100 versus TL semifinal to figure out who goes on to face what is expected to either be Cloud9 or EG.
I actually want to take that back because I think
Okay.
Jat was the only person that picked Team Liquid, so probably
He was.
will be.
No, he picked Team Liquid, but he said TL versus 100 would be the
Yeah.
finals.
Yeah, I know,
TL
but I
winning.
said he would probably win
did
it.
pick TL as the winner.
Just in
And
case
now-
Steve was
Yeah.
watching.
Steve? Hello? Steve?
You're
Do you know,
exactly
does he
right,
watch
Jet.
this late into the broadcast? The team did just play. He might still be tuning in. Emily, what about you in terms of the way that the final 8 is kind of shaping up?
I'm super curious about C9 CLG actually. Like I want to see. I'm favoring C9 obviously, but I do want to see how they bounce back after today's loss. And then CLG is just, we covered this prior to the day starting, but CLG is just a really interesting team to me, and I want to see them evolve as a unit.
Yeah. Contracts and Palafox up against Blabber and Fudge.
Yep.
That's a really interesting duo matchup, especially considering what we talked about today, a little bit ahead of the 100 Thieves versus Cloud9 matchup of Blabber and Fudge having to take the synergy that existed between them in the top lane and move it to the mid lane. But likewise, Contracts, who's been an absolute star, coming back in summer, but up alongside Palafox, who is still kind of looking to carve out his name here in the LCS. Could do a lot in terms of determining where those guys ultimately fall in the power rankings.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a little bit Shakespearean, the fact that he would have to go up against his former organizations in C9 and Evil Geniuses to kind of get there, of course. But that team has a lot to handle. I mean, they're mechanically strong across the board. They know that to be the case. It's everything else that they need to work on. And you can see the difference between the first, day of action to now, where they have worked on it. They're a lot more well coordinated. And so I hope the time between now and the bracket stage makes it so they look better enough to take on C9.
A few of our teams have locked in their quarterfinal spots, but we have a few more who need to determine which of those slots they'll dive into. We're going to head to a break. When we return, it's do or die time for TSM and Golden Guardians. We'll see you there.
Initializing legendary moments.
Take a look while you can, because if you blink, you'll miss it.
I'm sure you've heard the news.
Gold, gold, and more gold. Here comes the big play. Oh, that's perfect timing. You can see this one coming. They get what they need. They got the mid. They got the support. They got the top.
Are they going to give you some fun League of Legends? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Welcome to the LCS.
FTX, official cryptocurrency exchange partner of the LCS.
Sequence complete.